is Allison. I'm the Programs Outreach and Youth Services Manager here at Monterey County Free Libraries. Thank you for joining me this evening for another episode of Book Chat. Tonight I am going to chat with you about a book called The Ocean at the End of the Lane. This is by Neil Gaiman. It is a short novel. I read this in one day. It is, let's see, it's about 170 pages, 176 pages long. And if you're familiar with Neil Gaiman's work, it's very typical of what he produces. There's a lot of magic, mystery, darkness, a lot of levels in it, and I'm a huge fan of the book and the stop action animation movie Coraline. That's my favorite book and my favorite movie, and I really enjoy all the aspects that Gaiman weaves into his tales. So I had previously only read Coraline and the Graveyard Book, which are books that are directed more at middle school, upper elementary, middle school kids, which is not to say they can't be enjoyed by anybody, but this was the first book that I had read of his that was directed more at adults. And the main character in the book is an unnamed narrator, and he is experiencing the action. He starts off when he's older, and he's kind of remembering something that happened to him when he was a boy and this action that he had. So the main action of the book takes place in a younger child's life, but it's very heavy and very dark, and there's a lot going on. So this probably could be enjoyed by an upper middle school and high school kid, but it's also really great for adults. So I'm going to read you the inside flap because it sums up a lot better than I feel I could of what's going on in the book. Sussex, England. A middle-aged man returns to his childhood home to attend a funeral. Although the house he lived in is long gone, he is drawn to the farm at the end of the road, where when he was 7 he encountered a most remarkable girl, Letty Hempstock, and her mother and grandmother. He hasn't thought of Letty in decades, and yet as he sits by the pond, a pond that she'd claimed was an ocean, behind the ramshackle old farmhouse, the unremembered past comes flooding back. And it is a past too strange, too frightening, too dangerous to have happened to anyone, let alone a small boy. 40 years earlier, a man committed suicide in a stolen car at this farm at the end of the road. Like a fuse on a firework, his death lit a touch paper and resonated in unimaginable ways. The darkness was unleashed, something scary and thoroughly incomprehensible to a little boy, and Letty, magical, comforting, wise behind her years, promised to protect him no matter what. Groundbreaking work from a master, The Ocean at the End of the Lane is told with a rare understanding of all that makes us human and shows the power of stories to reveal and shelter us from the darkness inside and out. It is a stirring, terrifying fable, as delicate as a butterfly's wing and as menacing as a knife in the dark. So what it touches on in that summary that I really like is that when this man is remembering this event in his childhood, it's really hard for him to believe that it actually happened. And it has to do with a mysterious stranger coming in, and she's very... all the adults are kind of thrown under her spell, but he, as a little boy, can see that something's wrong, and Letty's one of the only people that believes him. And that reminded me a lot of Coraline, you know, having the child not believed by the adult and having to face this big monster and adventure and evil by themselves and help to save their families. So it has very similar themes, but deals with some heavier subjects than Coraline, which is geared towards kids. There was a blurb on the back that said some books you read, some books you enjoy, but some books like this one just swallow you up heart and soul. And I thought that was it resonated with me because when I read this book, I got really sucked in. I just read it in one afternoon, and I remember a lot of the imagery that happened in the book because it was just really well written, and the pictures were painted really well, and you got really drawn into this world that Gaiman creates, and that's one of the reasons why I love reading his books. So again, that is The Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman. If you have any books that you'd like to recommend, please let us know in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everyone.